How's it going, guys? Danomight here, coming to you as always from the Digital Warfare 24/7 forums, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys what I think anyway are the top 10 metagame upgrades that you can expect to be influencing your playstyle and the playstyle of others in the upcoming title Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which I know we are all eagerly awaiting. So now, first of all, let me talk a little bit about what I mean by the metagame. When I say metagame, I mean the different game mechanics and the different balance aspects of the game that basically dictate the way the game plays out in a lot of ways. You know, how aggressive are people going to be? What sort of perks and weapons are going to be the most used? That sort of thing. So there have been some major changes in this regard that are going to really influence play styles and strategy in Black Ops 2. So I just thought I would touch on the top 10 that I think are going to have the greatest influence. Now, starting off at number 1, I'd like to talk a little bit about Ghost. Now, Ghost was a perk that was scorned by a lot of people in Black Ops 1, largely because there were some people who would just sit in corners with Ghost. They'd be Ghost corner campers, and this irritated people very much. So the way that Treyarch actually chose to deal with this issue is that they made it so that now Ghost only works if you are moving. So if you are standing stationary and the enemy calls in a UAV, you are going to be able to be detected. Now, what this means is it's going to definitely favor the offensive and rushing players. So people who are constantly going to be on the move, seeking out the enemy, trying to push them back into their spawn, those are going to be the people who are invisible, whereas the people who are standing behind cover, ADSing along sight lines, those are the people that are going to be at a decided disadvantage in Black Ops 2. Now, I am a little worried to see how this is going to play out with snipers. I know snipers a lot of the time, they really need to be stationary for at least, you know, a couple seconds to line up a shot. So we're still not really sure exactly how this is going to work as to whether or not Ghost is going to be something where, you know, you can move a little bit and that will still keep you off radar, or if only if you're completely stationary is that going to actually cause you to show up. So that would be my number 1 metagame upgrade that is going to happen to Black Ops 2. And moving on to the second one, it is very much related. It's going to be the fact that I am predicting UAVs and accordingly counter UAVs to be much, much stronger in Black Ops 2. Now, here's my reasoning. First of all, we already said this, that Ghost now only works if you're moving. So that means UAVs are going to be able to show stationary Ghost users, and that is going to make them more powerful. It's going to allow you to see more enemies on your minimap. So expect more people to be using them. Now, there's another reason why a lot of people are going to be using them, which is that you can now earn points towards your point streaks by calling in a UAV. Basically, when you have one in, if any of your teammates get any kills while your UAV is up, you'll be awarded a small bonus of points that can count towards your point streak. So this is going to be a very easy to build point streaks, especially lower ones that are all chained together. And then also, there's the perk that's hardwired. Now, if you run hardwired, what this perk does is it actually allows you to not be affected by counter UAVs. So what this means for a player who likes to run UAVs is they can load up on, say, UAVs, hardline, and hardwired, and they can basically run throughout the map. Their UAV can't be taken down unless somebody shoots it down. They're going to be able to get a lot more out of their UAVs than they normally would. So those are some reasons why I think UAVs will be a lot more powerful. And then also, sort of as a side note here, more about counter UAVs, they have the potential to block the orbital VSAT, which is basically going to be the equivalent of the Blackbird from Black Ops 1. So this is going to make counter UAVs also very, very sought after in multiplayer games. Now, moving on to the third biggest aspect of metagame change is going to be the fact that Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is going to award players many more points for playing the objective than Black Ops 1 did. Now, certainly you didn't get any points at all towards your kill streak in Black Ops 1 for playing the objective. Modern Warfare 3 kind of took a little bit farther, and now in Black Ops 2, basically, for instance, a capture and domination is going to be worth 150 points, whereas just a standard kill is going to be worth 50 points. Now, you can get more points for your kill based on whether or not you're standing nearby a flag, say you're defending one, or if you're capturing one. Now this is really cool for people that like to play the objective, because it means that players that are going into objective game types just to go for kills and to rack up kill streaks, they're going to have a hard time doing it without playing the objective, because that's really how you're going to build your point streak and get rewarded for your style of play. So I would like to think that this means that in the Black Ops 2 metagame that a lot more people are going to be playing the objective. So we'll have to see about that. Now, going off of this, let's move on to our fourth biggest metagame upgrade, and that is going to be the fact that you can now select any point streaks that you want. Now, in the past Call of Duties, there have usually been point streaks or kill streaks that cost the exact same amount, so you can't equip both of them. Say, for instance, the Napalm Strike and the Care Package in Black Ops 1. Well, you are not going to have to worry about that anymore in Black Ops 2, because every point streak has a different cost, so you can literally equip any 3 kill streaks you want. Now, this is going to have a pretty drastic impact on the metagame, especially because there are now 2 lethal point streaks that have a very low points requirement, and those are going to be the RCXD and the Hunter-Killer drones. Now, someone who wants to run, say, Hardline with these 2 point streaks are going to be able to spam them out very quickly. If you thought that low-level kill or point streak spam was a big deal in Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 3, you haven't seen anything until you've seen what it's going to be like in Black Ops 2. Especially with people, I think, who have just gotten the game and are kind of equipping some more cautionary low-level kill streaks. You're going to really have to watch out for that. Now that tees in nicely with my fifth metagame upgrade, and that is going to be that Flak Jacket is going to be more important than ever before. Now this, I've come to this conclusion based on what we just mentioned, which is that RCXDs and Hunter-Killer drones are going to be a lot more prevalent. Hopefully Flak Jacket will be able to defend against those somewhat. Now also the other fact that we just mentioned, that there are more points now for playing the objective. That's something that's also going to come into effect, because as you're sitting around the objective capture zones more often, you're going to need that explosive protection. So Flak Jacket is going to be important for that regard. Now, this segues nicely into my next of the top 10 metagame upgrades, and that is going to be the return of C4 being able to be thrown with your right bumper, same as in Modern Warfare 3. Now this will obviously impact Flak Jacket, because with more people using C4, using it to throw around corners, this is going to increase its desirability in your creative class loadout. Now to get back to C4, what they've done with C4 is really cool in this game. It sounds like it can actually be replenished with Scavenger, but Scavenger will only replenish explosives from dead bodies that have not been killed by explosives. So for instance, you can't kill someone with a C4 and then pick up a Scavenger bag from their body to get your C4 back. That's not going to be possible. So that, I think, is a really good balance, allowing players to get their C4 back, but it won't allow them to be spamming it. Same thing goes for noob tubes and other explosives. But what C4 does is it's a really good way to attack around corners as you're basically attacking a defended position. So this is another thing that, along with the new changes to Ghost, are really going to positively influence the fighting capabilities of the offensive players as opposed to more defensive players. A shift in the metagame like this is really going to favor people who play aggressively, and that has me really excited. Now this next biggest number, the seventh biggest, well, this isn't in any particular order, but the seventh metagame upgrade that I have identified, and I think it's a pretty big one anyway, is that aiming down sights around corners was possible in Modern Warfare 3 with the Stalker perk, and they've actually brought that ability back in the form of the adjustable stock in Black Ops 2. Now, when I went back to play Black Ops after I got kind of burnt out on Modern Warfare 3, I was immediately struck by the difficulty of aiming around corners and playing aggressively, because my more aggressive style in Modern Warfare 3 relied heavily on assault rifles with Stalker. As I approached a corner, I would aim down sights and use the faster strafe speed to strafe around the corner, and it really allowed me to clear areas quickly and safely. In Black Ops 1, you basically have to hope that you either round the corner and manage to aim down sights before the enemy you run into does, or you'd have to do like a strafe shot or a jump shot around the corner or something like that and pray that you timed it right. Well, now you can really advance smartly and safely thanks to this new ability. It's probably one of the better additions that Modern Warfare 3 made that Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is going to be appropriating for this installment. I'm going to make a bold prediction actually and say that adjustable stock will end up being a lot more prevalent and a lot more popular than quick draw, just because this is what we saw in Modern Warfare 3. Part of that has to do with the fact that Stalker was in the perk 3 tier, and some of the more powerful perks that people wanted to use like Assassin were in the 2nd tier, so they wouldn't use quick draw. But I honestly think that the ability to strafe faster as you're aiming down sights is going to be a lot more effective than just purely being able to pull up on someone faster. So this is a lesson that I feel a lot of people might have already learned in Modern Warfare 3, but if they haven't, then I think they're definitely going to learn it in Black Ops 2. And if I didn't say this already, aiming around corners again really favors a very aggressive player, and so this is something that again has me very excited with respect to its potential for players that like to stay on the move like me. Now for the 8th metagame upgrade that I'm going to be looking at here, it's the idea that you can now select multiple perks from the same tiers, whereas normally you'd be just restricted to one. Now this opens up a couple of very interesting class combinations that you can use. For instance, Dead Silence and Awareness together. Now this would be similar to using Ninja and Sitrep from Modern Warfare 3 together, which you could only do if you were using the Specialist package. And that's something that I saw a lot of people doing. They'd start out with either Sitrep or I guess it was Dead Silence. I think I said Ninja. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But in any case, using Ninja together with Awareness in Black Ops 2 is really going to be something that pushes the limits of your close range awareness. So you can be sneaking around the map, you can be hearing people around you, and this is really again going to lead to a rushing type of gameplay, someone who's going to be aggressively pushing into enemy spawns and hearing people, enemies running around in them. So this is a good combination here. And then now you can also pick, if you want to, two of these 3 perks, which are very, very powerful perks in Black Ops 1 and will doubtless also be very powerful in Black Ops 2. And those are going to be Ghost, Hardline, and Flak Jacket. Being able to pick any 2 of those, Ghost and Hardline for a Slayer class, Ghost and Flak Jacket for a stealthy objective class, Hardline and Flak Jacket for a more of a brawler Slayer type class. These are all going to be very interesting options that you're going to be able to use. Now another really good one is the combination of Dexterity with Extreme Conditioning. Dexterity is going to allow you to raise your gun up faster, whereas Extreme Conditioning is obviously, same as it always has, is going to be able to allow you to run faster. I see this being a favorite combination of people running shotguns, to be able to raise that shotgun very quickly and then Extreme Conditioning to close the gap between them and their enemies. I really feel like this is going to be a powerful combination, especially when used together with the laser sight and the long barrel on any shotgun. So that's my 8th top metagame change. Moving on to our 9th one that I've identified for us here, and that is the fact that SMGs I'm looking at being really empowered in Black Ops 2. Now in Black Ops 1, I think it's fair to say that the SMGs were effectively neutered pretty badly. Most of them had very small magazine capacities of usually around 20 rounds, and then also you couldn't use extended mags together with rapid fire, which basically crippled them. And now the final straw there was the FAMAS, which fired at a ridiculous rate of fire and basically outclassed any SMG at close range. Now, from what I've seen so far in the Gamescom builds and the Eurogamer builds, are that SMGs are no longer taking a back seat in Black Ops 2. When I was watching some of the more competitive clans play on the live casted section of the Gamescom videos, I was really struck by the fact that a lot of them are using the MSMC, which looks like the somewhat lower rate of fire, somewhat higher damage, also low recoil SMG. It seems extremely popular so far with the competitive groups that have gotten to try out Black Ops 2. Now, There are going to be other SMGs too, such as the PDW-57. This has a massive 50-round magazine. It's basically like the P90. So it's really good to see that Treyarch is giving the SMGs back some of their swagger, some of their ammo capacity, and hopefully their ability to stand up to assault rifles at close to mid-range. Now, that being said, the last point I want to touch on, the last major upgrade to the Black Ops 2 metagame that I foresee, is the fact that they've replaced stationary sensors with mobile sensors. So in Black Ops 1, you'll remember there was the motion sensor which was deployable on the ground, and then it would just stay in one place. It basically encouraged people just to hang around their motion sensor, and this led to a lot of very defensive gameplay and lots of defensive stalemates. So basically what Black Ops 2 has changed is that they have a much stronger emphasis on mobile deployment of these detection devices, and they are going to be the sensor grenades, which I understand will function similarly to Recon in Modern Warfare 3, and the MMS, or millimeter scanner, which will basically allow you to see through walls at a distance of, I believe it's 25 meters or maybe 25 feet, but it's something that has a balance. It increases your recoil, and it has sort of like a scanning delay, not unlike the heartbeat sensor from Modern Warfare 2. But what I really like about this is, again, you see the theme here that they're encouraging people to play aggressively. They're not saying hide back behind your motion sensor at some building. They're saying throw those sensor grenades into the spawn and use that to figure out where you want to flank. They're saying run that MMS into tight closed areas so you can spot people through walls and plan how to flank them and take them down. So this is another thing, and just to sort of talk overall about how this favors objective-minded play and aggressive play, really putting the defensive players at the disadvantage. Now, this is something that makes me really, really happy. I think it's a great step forward for Treyarch. And finally, I'd like to sort of put all of this together and talk a little bit about what I think my prediction for the overall strongest class would be. And I would have to go with, for a Slayer type role, it'll probably be Ghost with Dead Silence, which is no surprise there, possibly with Awareness added on, or you could add Flak Jacket on along with Ghost, using, of course, Perk 1 Greed in order to make more of an objective variant. But so yeah, Ghost, Scavenger, Dead Silence, Awareness, I think, for perks, and then Suppressor and an adjustable stock and C4, and then one of the many incapacitating tactical grenades, either the Shock Charge or the Concussion or the Flash, probably. Now, this is definitely the class that I see being strongest. It's the one that I'm going to be rolling with or trying to unlock as soon as possible once I start. And that basically, it's just, I'm hoping it'll fit in with a much more aggressive metagame balance in Black Ops 2. I'm going to be invisible to UAVs, I'm going to be able to sound whore extremely effectively. I have a very uniquely equipped primary weapon. It's going to have the adjustable stock so I can aim around corners, the suppressor to stay off the minimap, and I won't ever have to worry about picking up a weapon without the adjustable stock because I'm running Scavenger. Now, these are all things that I think are going to come together to make this class really, really potent in multiplayer games. So I think I've been rambling on long enough, but hopefully the things I've said have given you guys some food for thought at least, so you guys can be planning ahead on how you are going to tool your gameplay to fit into the new Black Ops 2 metagame that we are going to be experiencing in just a few short weeks now. Thank you guys so much for listening. Rate, comment, subscribe if you feel like it. I am trying to get to my goal of 100 subscribers by the time Black Ops 2 comes out, so if we can get close to that number even, I would be extremely happy. But regardless, you guys can count on some really quality gameplay coming your way during the early days of release of Black Ops 2 and continuing onwards from there. Thank you guys again, and have a good day.